YouTube, how the hell are you? This is Around the Sticks, where we bring you what happened in the past week. Today, we are covering the COD League, champs players to watch, and as always, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. First, we will start off with the league season, which has launched with a bang, with teams like Justice and Elevate exceeding expectations, and teams like Prof and Envy falling out of their luck. Optic Gaming ended up tied up with the surprise of Justice at 3-1. Next was Denial at 4-2, which is actually technically tied with Optic and Justice, but with them only having one loss, I felt that was more important. Next is teams who have a 500 record of Elevate, Optic Nation, Automatic Reload, FaZe, TK, and Rise. And then the disappointments, Prophecy, who is 2-4, and last, the major sadness that is Envy. Many players are slacking from where they should be. Now we'll go into the league leaders for kill-death ratio for the first week of the season. Octane, who has a 1.4 KD on 15 maps played. The sub, Huke, who has a 1.23 on 9 maps played. Formal with a 1.22 and 16 maps played. Sender with a 1.21 and 7 maps played. Clayster, a 1.18 with 25 maps played. Scump, who has a 1.18 with 16 maps played. Chino with a 1.13 and 15 maps played. Burns with a 1.1 and 25 maps played. Anticity with a 1.11 and 25 maps played. Sharp with a 1.1 and 17 maps played. Zuma with a 1.1 and 23 maps played. Saints with a 1.09 and 23 maps played. Crim6 with a 1.08 and 16 maps played. TP with a 1.08 and 15 maps played. And Huddle with a 1.08 and 24 maps played. After hearing the top 15 players in KD, there are a few names that are missing, I feel like at least. Enable, who is at a 1.04 at 27 maps played, is really kind of a standout to me that he's missing on this list, just because he was, I believe, number 1 in Season 1 for most of the season. That to me is by far depressing, to think that a person that had a 1.18 would completely fall out of the top 15 KD in all of the league, at least in the first week. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in the top 8 in kill death after the league ends. Now I'd like to look into the disappointments in the league. These players haven't matched what most people feel they should have. First is Looney, who hasn't shown up to any matches, with only playing 4 maps, 19.33 kills per respawn, and a pitiful 0.82 kill death. Now, truthfully, that to me is sad, especially with him coming out really explosive at both regionals and Season 1 playoffs. He was by far one of the players I felt that most people should look out for being a breakout player. But in the end, I guess he really kind of slacked off at the beginning of the season. With him not living in the TK house, that probably is helping him shit the bed quite a bit. Next is the person who needs to catch fire. That is Mr. BL Fire. He has completely led the league in lowest KD with a 0.79 kill death ratio, with a 22.29 kills per respawn on 25 maps. That is utterly pitiful. Right now, that is only lower than people from TCM, which is really sad. So most people are going to look to him to catch fire. But if he catches fire, Automatic Reload is going to be very scary, with them already having 2 players in the top 15 in kill death. And if he catches fire, it's going to be even more deadly going up to verse them. After him is the captain of Envy, Mr. Handsome Merc. He seems to be slacking with a 0.8 KD and 22.29 kills per respawn on 23 maps. Many people are saying he's slacking. I don't think he's just slacking. He is playing downright pitiful, one of the consistent players in all of Call of Duty. Fourth is Parasite. Although he may be struggling changing to an objective player, he has a 0.94 KD with 23.17 kills per respawn on 27 maps. Personally, to me, That is really, really kind of sad for Parasite when most people consider him probably one of the best players in the game. But a .94 KD to me is not a best player in the game. He should probably be around a 1.1 to a 1.18. Even though he is an objective player, having a .9 truthfully is probably one of the best players objective-wise that's up there, other than right now Burns, who's been blowing everybody out of the water, obviously. Last is Mr. Sensitive Apathy. He's been struggling on Prophecy to become the complete Slayer without any supportive Slayers. I don't feel like this role fits him, and he probably would be a better supportive Slayer instead of a complete Slayer. Next is the bad. It's time to break bad. Break these bad motherfucking plays, bitch. Last week, from Activision, we received an update for Champs maps. We ended up switching Retreat S&D, by far one of the smallest maps in all of Call of Duty, considering it's only half of the map, and probably one of the more favorite maps of S&D, for the DLC map Drift. Many people complained about this being money whoring, or just Activision wanting to get more DLC sales. I find this understandable, but most people during Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Ghost, myself included, asked for DLC maps to be used in competitive. I don't feel like any of us have a right to say anything to complain about this anymore, just because a lot of people were actually asking for DLC to be used and to be played. It would be cool to see some DLC guns thrown in there every now and then, and it'd be cool to see some DLC maps thrown in there. Personally, I do see why everybody was complaining just because of it being their favorite map being removed, but in the end, I feel like adding DLC into competitive was important and by far one of the better things that Activision has done so far this season. They keep staying updated with what we need. So personally, I don't feel like this is a big thing. I feel like it was a step in the right direction and only can lead into more things that Activision will actually do for us. Maybe if we get a map during each one of the DLCs we can actually use, that would be great. But with them adding one into COD Champs, I don't see that as a bad thing. It will change up at least a little bit of the meta with MLG complaining and removing it on CTF. But I don't understand why everybody's complaining about it all the time. It's a map. We complain about seeing the same damn thing all year round. So stop complaining, just play the damn map. Now it's time for the ugly.
Now it's time for the ugly.
It's the fucking ugly, bitch. Let's go. Many people think Envy is the one who is struggling. At 1-5 after the first week, many people are wondering if this is one of the teams that will start roster mania. Players like Saints and Merc consistently underachieving for what they're supposed to be doing, and Zuma seems to be the only person playing where he's normally put. Although I feel like he may actually be the most consistent player on the squad right now, I feel like he's also underachieving from what people have hyped him up to be. Truthfully, I feel like Envy will completely break up if they do not win champs, or even finish top 3 in that. I feel like if they don't finish top 3, they're gone. And I feel like Saints and Zuma may split up after this. I feel like Saints will probably end up leaving to go to FaZe. And him, Parasite, and Huke will end up teaming on that team. And it will end up being Zuma, Merc, and Nameless to join up with probably somebody like Aches. As always, we will end the show with the things that make this possible. First off, use code ICONIC for Cinch controllers. If you would like to donate, there is a link down in the description. If you're new here and enjoy the content, please click the subscribe button. Make sure to leave your opinion in the comments. And as always, see y'all fucking later. Peace out.